now we're going to look at some problems that have variables on both sides of the equation. Remember, our goal is to isolate the variable. If you have the variable in two places, you can't isolate it. So you need to deal with that situation first so that you'll have a set order. So in our first equation, on this side there is no simplifying. On the other side there is no simplifying. But what you want to see is you have 6x on this side and you have 3x on the other side. You need to make one of those terms cancel so that you only have x on one side. It doesn't matter which one you choose to get rid of. I'm going to choose to get rid of the 3x. Now, I want the whole piece to disappear, so I need to subtract a 3x. That will make it cancel to 0. Dividing by 3 would not help you. It would leave the x there. So also I'm going to subtract 3x here, put it under the right term, and only do one thought process per line. Now we have to clean up. This will give us 3x minus 8 equals, come straight down, 7. And now it's right back to a two-step equation. Go on the side with the x. Anything added or subtracted should come off. So the 8 should come off. It's subtracted. Add both sides. Clean up. So we have a 3x equals 15. Go back on the side with the x, and now you're ready to divide. By the sign of the coefficient, and it gives you x equals 5. So the only extra step was here on this first line. If you see a variable on both sides, you need to get rid of one of those and make it cancel to 0 on one side. And then it will be a standard two-step equation. Let's try one more. So with this one, we do have x on both sides. There's no simplifying on the left, no simplifying on the right. So I'm going to get rid of an x term. I'm going to choose to get rid of the 2x. So it's a positive 2x. To make it cancel, I'll subtract 2x. That would cancel to 0. You have to do the same thing over here. That's the only step you should do on that line. Now clean up. So we have 3x minus 3 equals, come straight down, negative 18. Now you have a two-step equation. Work on the side with the x because that's where you're trying to get x by itself. Anything added or subtracted should come off first. So this 3 should come off, the one that's subtracted. That leaves us 3x equals, on the other side you have different signs. So subtract sign of the larger or put it in your calculator. Go back on the side with the x and divide by your coefficient. So divide by 3. And this leaves us x equals negative 5. I'm going to look at this next problem two ways. It is a problem where I see students get stuck. So it doesn't look very big. It only has 3 pieces on it. We want to solve, and it does have x on both sides. So we need to get rid of one of those x terms. We can choose. We can get rid of the 3x or the 2x. It doesn't matter. So if you choose the 2x, you're going to need to subtract it. Do the same thing on both sides. And then we'll clean up. Notice that it canceled out our right-hand side, but we still have to keep a right-hand side. So let's clean up over here. This leaves us 1x plus 5. Your equals must come straight down. If everything canceled, you have to write 0. You are not allowed just to move the equals over to make a side. So that is very important there. If you wipe out a side, put 0, then you're safe. Now this one is actually down to a one-step equation. Go on the side with the x and take off the 5. It's added, so take it away. So x equals -5. All right, I'm going to do the same problem again, but this time I'll get rid of the 3x so that I don't wipe out a side. Should get the same answer at the end. All right, so if I get rid of the 3x, I have to subtract it. That would make it cancel to 0. This one's gone. So 5 equals -1x. Now remember, you're not allowed to leave an equation like that, and this is a -1. You can write it if you want. So you have to divide out that -1. So x equals -5. Same answer. Just, you have to be real careful. If you wipe a side out, that's okay. Put 0 to be safe. Don't move the equals. I thought we'd look at an equation that looks a little bit longer. So remember, if you have like terms or parentheses on one side, that you have to stay on that side and simplify. So this one, I'm going to need to stay on this left-hand side and work for a while. All right, so I'm not going to touch the right-hand side, so I am simplifying. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this parentheses off. So I'm going to distribute the 4 only to the parentheses. So 4 times 3x is 12x. 4 times 4 is 16. Parentheses comes off. Bring down your -20. Right? And then I still have like terms. So these are going to go together. They're on the same side. So I'm going to bring down my 12x. These are different signs, so subtract sign of the larger. Now that side's cleaned up. Then we'll go to the other side, and these x's are like terms, so they can go together. Work with the coefficients, so that gives me 5x plus 3, and that side is all cleaned up. Then you're ready to start solving. It does have a variable on both sides, so we need to get rid of one of those x terms. I'm going to choose to get rid of the 5x. It's a positive 5x, so I'm going to take it away. Same thing on the other side. This gives me 7x minus 4 equals, come straight down. Now it's a standard two-step equation. Go on the side with the x, get rid of anything added or subtracted. So we're going to get rid of the 4. Add the 4 to make it cancel. This one goes out. 7x, our equals come straight down, equals 7. One more solve step. Divide by your coefficient. And so x is going to equal 1. Make sure that you keep good notation. You really should only have one thought process per line. Even when you're ready to do these in your head, if you do this step in your head, you still would need this line and this line. Right? So one thought process per line.